This conference will now be recorded.
You start. So I start the session. So what are the mandatory fields you'll add? Uh, you give value to the user when you add a new user to the organization. What are the mandatory fields? Mobile profile. Okay. Okay. User license, then profile. Okay, it's more important. So profile is where you add permissions for the users. Okay. What about permission set? Additional permission. Okay. So can I assign more than one permission set to the user? We can assign, but profile is going to be only one. Okay. Then how do you restrict your access on others' data? OWD, right? So OWD says what type of access you have on other users' data, records owned by others. Okay, whether I can read the others' record, whether I can edit. So what are the three basic OWD model we have? Public read only, read write. Okay, it's for the object will set. For every object will set. By default, public read write. It means everyone can see each other's data and edit, provided their profile has given write permission, edit permission. So profile decides what is the basic level of access, and OW decides what type of access you will have on others' data, vice versa. Okay, right. Private, public, read only, read write. So we have discussed the scenarios where my object is in private model. Okay, OW is in private model. Where you will set that private model setup, your security controls, sharing settings, we have list of objects, access here. Okay, and so there you will set your object as a private or public read only. So my object is in private. I have some records in my object with different ownership. There are two records under an user Ranjith, and record under David and record under Praveen. When model is in private, the user for Ranjith is able to see his own data. He cannot able to see others' data. That's what OWD private says. Okay, and he can perform read, edit, delete operation as per his profile permission. Got me? Similarly, David will get only read permission because his profile has given only read permission. Praveen can able to read, edit. Similarly, if I change my model as a private to public read only, everyone can see each other's data, but they cannot edit. Okay, so an user Ranjit can able to read others' data, David can read all others' data, okay, and Praveen can read others' data, and he can edit his own data. Similarly, public reader is a default one. Everyone can see and edit everyone's data, provided that profile has given permission. So why I am repeating that provided, if OWD is read write, it doesn't mean that we can give edit permission on this data. We cannot use OWD to grant more permission. Okay. It's always decided by the profile only. Clear? And delete permission is only applicable for the owner only. We cannot have that permission in your OWD. OWD is just have a read and a write, that's all. And there are some more OWD model, full access, read write transfer, controlled by parent. Full access is only applicable for campaign object. It means if the object is set as full access, everyone in the organization can able to read, edit, delete others data, provided the profile has given them permission. Okay, similarly, read write transfer. What is transfer actually? Ownership. Ownership we can change. Okay, so when it is set public read write for, it's only applicable for standard object lead and case, and it's not available for any object in the platform. Okay, public read write transfer is only applicable for lead and case. Okay, we can change the ownership, we can read and edit each other's data. Control by parent is applicable for master data relationship. Right? So any question on this, able to follow this? If my OWD is in private, then what type of access I can give it back to the users? The question is, my OWD is in private model. It means no one can see others data. It's a private. Okay, I am in the private room, so no one can see what I'm seeing now. Okay, so it's a private. So what type of access I can give to others if it is a private? Public read write. Two type of access is eligible to grant back to the other users. Okay, so we have a features like a sharing rule, by using which I can grant back the access. What I restricted, the same access I can give it back. But I do not want to give it back everyone. I have some group or role. Okay, based on a role, based on a group, only certain people I would like to give it back to the give the access back. It means grant the access back. So how we are going to grant the access back to the particular users by using a sharing rule. So sharing rule is a kind of rule you are going to define. When the rule criteria is met, whatever the record meeting this rule, those records will be shared automatically to the target user. So three things you are going to follow here. One is what is the criteria, and what type of access you are going to grant back, whom you are going to grant back. There are three things. Okay. So in the sharing rule, first on which object you are going to set the rule? Based on criteria. Remember we discussed about the criteria as well as ownership also. Okay, records created by a user in the role manager needs to be shared with the other set of users who are in the role of delivery manager. So whatever the records owned by the group of people who is in the role of delivery, manager, I would like to share with another group. So ownership based sharing. Okay, or else based on a field criteria on the particular object, I have a criteria. Whatever the training object in the status in progress, only those records I like to share with another users who is in the role of sales lead. Okay, so sharing rule can be done based on two condition. One is your object field ownership, and what is the next thing here? What type of access, and then to whom you are going to provide access. So what type of access? It can be a read only, public read write. Am I right? And whom we are going to share? We can share to the public group, a user in particular role. We are going to discuss about the role now. And I can also share with the role and its subordinates. Right? We are going to discuss about the role. What is public group basically? Last Thursday we have seen, right? Group of users, that's it. You're going to make one group by adding different users. Okay. So that users can be from another public group or roles and subordinates. We'll come to know what is role and subordinates, but I can make a users even from the users also. From individual users also, I can pick different users and make one group. Okay, I make different public groups, managers. Okay, some yeah, managers belongs to Hyderabad, managers belong to Chennai, managers belong to Kerala. All together, I make one managers group. I can make. So I will select 3 different public group. I make a group, or else I select from users. I select from public group. I select from users in particular role. All together, I can make one group. So anyway, any way you can make a group with help of public group, role subordinates, and users. Okay, so here we do not have any option where I can share to the individual user. You got me? Suppose my requirement is share the status is in private progress. Need to share with the user Praveen. So where is the option here? I cannot choose any user here, right? My requirement is to share the training record is in progress, should be shared with the Praveen. Every training record in my organization whose status is progress, just share with that particular user. How to achieve this? How to achieve here? You create one public group, add that user, only one user in that public group. Right? So public group can have one or multiple users. You have to create a public group for just one user as well. when my requirement is to share every record meet that criteria automatically to the one particular user. Every record meeting that criteria, share with one public group or user in particular role. So if you need some automation takes place, automation needs to be takes place, right? It has to be automatically shared. Suppose my status right now is in closed. I'm making it in progress. Automatically that record meets that criteria, right? That record needs to be shared. Suppose I'm inserting some 10 different training record as a bulk record I'm uploading. Okay, 5 of the record in progress. All the 5 records automatically shared with the as per the sharing rule. So it's automation process. Okay, if there is automation process, then we are going with a feature called a sharing rule. It's running the backend. Whenever you modify the record, you delete the record, you add new record, the process will run at the backend. It calculate whatever the record meets the criteria, it share the records automatically to that particular user. Got me? Right. So we have a sharing rule based on criteria as well as ownership based. Okay, we have seen this practically in the last session. Am I right? If you go through the video, we'll be able to see it. And now we are going to discuss about the role. Am I audible? Throat is completely locked. Okay. And this is automated sharing, right? So every record meet the criteria will be automatically shared. Based on what I can share? What are the 2 conditions? Sharing rule. Based on object field, based on ownership as well, right? Any clarity required based on ownership? Anyone has implemented this practically? How many of you? None of you? It's more important topic. Okay, it's more important topic. Try to get more practically. Sharing rule I haven't show. If sharing rule is there, then it means I practically shown it. Right? Criteria based I shown it. Maybe ownership based I think I even share. Right? Any question on criteria based? We'll take one more criteria. Okay. So before you do your practical, make sure you have different set of users. Got me? So before you go for practical, make sure you have some users. Okay. So in addition to your system administrator, if you verify the sharing rules, everything with the system administrator, the guy will have all the access irrespective of sharing settings. So don't test with the system administrator. System administrator login we are going to use to implement the sharing rule. Implement the sharing rule, creating the sharing rule, modify the model. But you have to log in as different user and check the things how it is working. Okay, all right. I have 3 users here, including me. There is a user David. Profile manager profile. Okay, permission on training object. We are just discussing about the training object. So we are just concentrate on training object permission alone, not every object. Okay. So sorry. Yeah, this is a profile. Oh, so, yeah, whatever permission he has got, read create. Okay, so read create. So I'll take one more user, Kiran. Sales lead. Scroll down, only read permission. Okay, so and in my training object, how many records are there, right? That's also I need training. Okay, there are some records. I don't know how it will come. Okay. Okay, we have branch also here. Okay, fine. So this is scenario in my training object, right? So this is a profile, permission, and this is scenario. So we need not worry about the classroom and all. Maybe if you have condition, we can also check this. branch and owner. That's it. Owner first name and last name. Okay. So last name is not required. I just go with the first name. Fine. Right. Now we're going to check what is the model of the training object in OWD. Security controls, sharing settings. So what is the model here? Private. Okay. So my training object is in private model. So this is how we are going to recreate the scenario. Okay. So make sure before you start, review this. Just make sure you have the setup like this. It's not a big deal, right? So see, basically, what type of license I used here? Um, Manager, I guess, Salesforce license. How many Salesforce licenses are available in edition? 2. So how many Salesforce platform? 3. 3 Salesforce platform. Okay. So any more user are going to use for your testing purpose? It's going to be a platform user only. So till 2 more user I can add. I can add 2 more user to see my different sorts of examples. I can see scenario. Okay, but we have taken only 2 user right now. But I can add 2 more user and go with the Salesforce platform license. Because Salesforce platform license, I can provide access to the custom objects. We are not dealing with any opportunity lead here. We are dealing with only training objects. So I can use Salesforce platform user here for my testing purpose. Okay, right. So someone has added here. It's me I added, no, right? Someone. Okay, okay. Right. Do not make any changes here. Okay. Sometimes it may have an impact on others' reference. No problem. Don't do it again. No, right. So you can. I will go with the delete it. You don't delete. I will delete it. Right. So this is how you build your scenario first. So now the model is a private. Then every user will able to see their own data only. If I log in as Kiran, no data and yeah, there is one record and his ownership. He can only see his own data. Okay. So how we can see that? Just log in as Kiran. Go to the private window or else different browser. How to make the profile whitelist? How to skip that verification? Yeah, go to the particular profile user, profile of that particular user and add IP ranges. Okay. So log in without a security check. So I go to the training. Click go. There are some records apart from his own data he is able to see. The reason we have implemented sharing rule. We implemented sharing rule. Remember we discussed scenarios where the training which is in progress should be shared with the sales lead. So for that, okay, we created a group, public group. So how did we create users, public group? Click new, then it will ask the name, and from any of these I can make the public group, right? So I just added Kiran. So what are the records? Whatever the records meet that criteria, the Kiran will be able to see. Okay. And what about yeah, every record meets the criteria is able to see. That's what the Kiran is able to see all the data. So what about the David, right? David is not in the sales lead group. Am I right? David is not in the sales lead group. So let's log in as David and confirm that. So David, training management, trainings, click go. Only his own data. Okay, he is not in that group. So none of the record has been shared. Only the record owned by him. That's what this field is added. Okay, the owner is David. So it is only his own data is able to see. That's it. So people got clarity how to recreate this scenario. Can you just recreate this scenario? Okay. Say for example, my OWD model is right. See, let's discuss one more scenario. What type of access I can share here when the model is private? Public read only. That's what we did, right? We go to the sharing settings, read only. Okay. So I have a again another requirement. Say okay, share the record. So what I'm trying to give now, edit access to managers, not the lead. Okay, managers. So who are all the managers in my organization? Who are all in that profile, particular profile? I have David is in that role. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I cannot choose a profile as a target user in my sharing rule. So reason I have to create a public group. Whatever users make sense. Okay, save. So public group is added. Next, as administrator, we are doing this, right? As administrator, you have to implement this. What next I have to do? Security and controls sharing setting. We cannot use the same rule. We have to add one more rule here because the rule criteria is different. Criteria is same, but target user is different. So we cannot use the same rule to give a read edit access to the managers. We have to add one more. based on criteria. Okay, based on criteria. Manages. This time what type of access? Read write. So now this David login. Okay, all access, edit access as well. But still edit button is not appearing. Why? The profile, okay, profile assigned to David doesn't give a edit permission. Got me? It's clear to all of you? Right. That's how the OWD works. Okay. Right. Now my OWD of training is public read only. What type of access I can share? See here, public read only as well as public read write. Because it is in private. What are the access left over? Read, read write. These are two access left over. I can give it back. Public read only. What type of access I can give? Read, write. There is no point of giving the read access again because everyone can see each other's data. So only access I can give more grant back is going to be a read write only. You will follow this. But here I have a chance I can grant back read only as well as read write. But here I can only give a read write access. You will follow this. What about if my model is public read write? So what access I can give it back? Will got it or not? We got it the first use cases. One is my model is private, so it's a case. Okay, case is one. My model is private, so I can give the access back to the user read only or okay, and I have a OWD as public read only. So what type of access I can grant back? That is my question. Read only or read write. If it is public read only, I can give access read write. If my model is public read write, what type of access I can grant back? I need a response for these two. Is understandable? The first two. Okay. My OW model is public read write. What does it mean? Should I give any access back to the users? No need, right? So sharing is not required here. You'll go for sharing rule, sharing records to others only when OWD is private or read only. We are not going to talk about sharing. Sharing rule will not have any effect. Even if you have sharing rule on training object, if the training object is in public read write, it's of no use actually. Okay, the sharing rule will only work when the model is private or public read only. Else, there won't be any calculation happened. There won't be any sharing rules run behind because everyone can see, edit each other's data if it is a public read write. Okay, so okay, pay attention in your questions, entry questions. A model is public read write. The interviewer put that question. My model is account is on public read write. I have some group of managers need the account which belongs to industry finance. They are financial related managers. They like to edit the data. There is no point of sharing, right? Because the model is already in public read write. So you'll go for sharing the record to others. When you'll go for sharing, only if you're not able to get any access on that record, then I will share my record to you. Okay. But what happens in the case of sharing rule? It runs automatically whatever the record meet the criteria, the record will be shared. It may be one training record or thousands also. It can be many. Now it is 1,000. Tomorrow it may be less than 1,000, and down the line it may be more than 1,000 also. So whatever record we modified, delete, update, every record meet the criteria. Those calculation will be happened at the back end. That's what when you implement the sharing rule, what happens? You get the message, calculation is running. It's running in progress. Suppose I have millions of data, what happens? It takes more time. You need to wait for it. We'll get an email once the sharing is calculation is done. Okay, right. So, but I have a requirement, share the record manually. My own record, one individual record, I would like to share with other user. Suppose myself share the record with David. Okay, whatever the record I have, the training record, I would like to share with David. Okay, and my absence, David would like to work on that record, for example. Then, so David doesn't have access to that record. David have only access to the, is a manager, he has access to the in progress record. But I would like to share with the records which are not in progress also. One particular record I'd like to share. Only when I need to share, I would like to share. If it goes to the sharing rule, what will happen? Criteria, meeting criteria, everything record will be shared. Every record will be shared. But I have some demand, on demand. Got me? The user requesting, I do not have access to that particular record because that record is not in progress, but I need to modify the fees details. Okay, the fee is changed, the course of the fee is changed, or start date is changed. I would like to modify it, but the course is not yet started. Only in progress record only I have access. So what David is requesting, Ranjith, please share that particular record. So now we are going for sharing, but not sharing rule. We are going to do it manually. Okay, we are going to do it manual, which is called manual sharing. Okay, how we are going to do? We are going to that particular individual record. So there is a record is in pending status in my ownership. I go inside the record. I have a button called sharing. Right. So when this button will appear, in which model? Public and private read. The sharing button is of no use when the model is read write. The David did not ask me, right? Give that access if it is in public read write. So the button will also appear in this layout only if the model is in private or right. It's clear to all of you, right? Okay. So as a person, I would like to share my record. I go to the detail view, sharing. I'm already have access. So whoever user got access, they will list it out here. I'm going to add. Okay. You can go with your users also. When you're manually sharing, I can select users also. So David. Okay. What type of access you need? That's it. Okay. If either he access, yeah, yeah. We haven't discussed scenario here. Suppose he, okay, an user. One individual record manually to another user, public group, roles, subordinates. Then use manual sharing button in the layout. Which layout? Detail record page. Correct? Okay. The question is, the question is, when you go for manual sharing, when there is a when there is a need to share only one individual record. On demand, it means on request. Okay, then you go for manual sharing. If I make this criteria based sharing rule or something, what will happen? Every record meet the criteria will be shared, but only one individual record I can share to one individual user, or I can go with the group, roles and subordinates. Okay, right. So okay, what I did, I go to that particular record. Okay, it's yeah, go here, sharing, add, edit access or read access, whatever, save, added. So now I go to the David login, go. So record has been shared. Correct? We'll follow this. Okay, right. So this I'll do the manual sharing. How to check the users to whom the record has been shared. See, like the manual sharing, I have shared, records to some 4 or 5 users. Okay, uh, got me? So in my application, my platform, I have shared some records to 4 or 5 users in the manual sharing. Okay, I get a request, I get a complaint saying like the user David no suppose not to be edit the data because the model is in private, but David is still able to see the training record which is in pending. But as per the sharing rule, yes, he is able to see in progress data, but he is able to see the pending data because I manually shared it. No one in the organization will know that whether it's manually shared or not. Okay, because everyone is know about some sharing rule is running. So every in progress record, the David and the sales team will work on it. Sales lead and sales manager will work on the in progress data. But pending data, I have shared to David, but no one knows that. Got me? In that case, what will happen? Sometimes you'll get such type of question saying like, the customer should not able to see that data. The customer should not have edit access, but he is able to do it. Got me? Sometimes you get more access for your any application. Okay, by mistake they have given more access. In that case, the complaint goes to the admin. Verify how that record is shared to David. What is the reason? Got me? Then how the system administrator can troubleshoot that issue. My question is able to understand? I would like to know the reason for why that record is being edited by the particular user. So what I'm going to do, which record complained by the user? I go to that record. So this is a record they complained. It's not in progress, but still is able to see by David and edit. So I go to the sharing. What is this? Expand list. I have Y option here. So which record, which user they complained? David Y. So there is a reason for access called a manual sharing. Okay. So go back to the expand list. Okay. Reason for Ranjith is an administrator owner. So get the reason here. Okay. Troubleshoot the record to know what is the reason for sharing, why that user is able to edit or read. Okay. Then we can expand the list. From the sharing button, you can go sharing button. expand list, and go with the Y. Will follow this? Okay, that has been covered in the document as well. So this is a process. Okay, we'll move on to roles. What is OWD? OWD is a record level access or object level access? Record level only, right? The record owned by me cannot see by you. Got me? Record meet this criteria can be see. So it's a OWD is a record based access. Similarly, we have a record level access called roles. Okay. So I'm going to have different roles here in my organization. Manager. Okay. Say assistant managers. I have team lead. I have someone called executive. Just a role I create. Okay, I'm just talking about the role. To whom you are going to assign, that's the next step. Okay, we can set up the role hierarchy like this. What the role hierarchy says, this type of role hierarchy you can set up. Where I can set here, I go to the setup, managers, manage users, roles, role hierarchy. It's an information purpose, okay? You can ignore. By default, there is a top level role called your company name. That's it, okay? So the default role they given, CEO, CFO. Okay, you can either go with this or else you can build your own role for your organization. By default, they given Salesforce has given some role hierarchy, but we can build our own roles here. Okay, I add the top level role, say a VP of the organization. The top level role is going to be your company name. That's it. Okay. So there is a role is created. Below him, I'm going to add one more role. Sales manager. Expand. There is one role. Okay, I'm going to add another role below him. So automatically report to is chosen as that role, or else you can change here, right? Sales lead. Okay, I go to the roles again. Expand. Okay, there is one more role I'm adding here. Okay, parallel to sales manager. Yeah, marketing manager. So VP is a top role. Marketing manager and sales manager at the same level. They are at the same level, right? They are at the same level. And one level right justified. Sales manager. So sales lead is reporting to sales manager. Marketing manager and sales manager reporting to VP. Okay, marketing manager is not the manager for sales manager. They are at the same level, right? So what the role hierarchy says, so I have a roles now in different form. VP, and below him sales lead. Okay, right. Let's add one more role here called executive, who is reporting to lead. So here I'm adding, everyone is able to follow this? Okay, that's how I expand this, then you'll see. Yeah, this is my role hierarchy. Okay, so what does it mean? The VP, the user who are assigned with. So this is what the role hierarchy. Is going to give on record based access. What does it mean? The user in the role of VP can able to see all the subordinates record, irrespective of OWD model. Model is OWD is private. What does it OWD private means? No one can see others data, right? But what happens in this case? VP can able to see. Even in private model also, VP can able to see and edit others data. Of course, the profile permission plays a role, but still, okay, if he is above, then irrespective of the OWD model, he can able to see and edit others data. What about sales manager? Sales manager can able to read, edit, yeah, whatever the users in the role of sales lead and sales executive. Got me? Sales lead can able to read, edit data owned by the users in the role of executive. But still, executive cannot see or edit the sales lead role if the OWD is in private. That's what the role hierarchy says. Okay, so users who are in the role of in the above role can able to see and edit the data of subordinates. Now we got it, role and subordinates. The role, okay, VP is a role, they are subordinates. Sales manager role, sales and lead executive and subordinates. So we'll verify this scenario now. Okay, and um, yeah, we just verify the users now first. Right now I haven't assigned any role here. Okay, right. So okay, we have option to add two more user. Okay, so let me add one user, Praveen. Okay, some platform. It will be sales lead. Save. Okay, and I create one more profile. For the clarity, I create one more profile. Sales. Okay, I make it executive. Just one user will see. Everyone, all of you able to follow this, right? I'm just cloning one profile and going to assign that profile to the new user. Okay, so before assigning the profile, let's verify the password. So adding on user, right? Praveen is a new user. Okay, so this is Praveen's login, right? So now let's change the profile as well. I need not change the profile, but for a differentiation, I just create one more profile. Okay, so this is a scenario. Um, so he's also got only read permission only, right? Let's not discuss about the license now. We're going to discuss about the roles. So David is a manager. Okay, I'm going to assign a role, sales lead, executive. Okay, right. Right now I go to the roles. Yeah, from here also I can assign a role. So David is going to be a manager role. Choose a role, sales manager. Sale. So what is the role we given? Sales manager. So that's the hierarchy we created, right? Okay, and for Kiran, lead, follow this. For who is a new user? Praveen, yeah. Executive will assign. Executive, right. Okay, now the person, David can able to see all the records owned by Kiran, not only records owned by the record owned by him under his ownership, under that Kiran ownership, as well as any record shared with the Kiran also. Whatever records the Kiran has in its you know in its ownership or any record shared with him, every record will be able to see and edit by the David, because he is in the role above the Kiran. Sales manager, sales lead. Okay, right. So let's go to the David login. I'm not refresh the page. It's a previous scenario, right? Where he can only see the record owned by him and record that has been shared with the sharing rule and record manually shared by Ranjith. Am I right? Now we refresh this page. Okay, what happened now? Kiran, right? Kiran is a role below him. So he's able to see the Kiran data also. We will follow this. right? If he has got edit access, delete access, he can able to perform all the no permissions on the record and subordinates record. Any question on this? Will you able to follow this? Okay. Similarly, if you log in as Kiran, you will be able to see all the data owned by Praveen. Praveen is a new user. I believe none of the record is owned by him. For example, okay, who is the user? Kiran, right? Okay. So I log in as a Kiran. The same scenarios, because the user who is below him doesn't have any records under his ownership. Suppose I am sharing some record to the Kiran, the new user Praveen. Okay, so I go here. I like to share this record to add new user Praveen. Say right now I go to the Kiran. The Kiran is in the role above executive, right? Just now I shared some one record to the Praveen. So now I refresh this page of Kiran. Kiran was able to see the record that has been shared with Praveen, right? So which record has been shared? T007, right? It's appearing. This record has been shared with the new user. Trainings, go. Only one record is shared. Got me? So role hierarchy says whatever the records owned by the subordinates, not only the ownership. If anyone has shared any record to them, every records will be seen by and edited by the user in the above role. That's what the role hierarchy says. Got me? It's clear to all of you. Okay, my model is in private or public read write, it doesn't matter. A user in the above role can able to read, edit others data. I mean subordinates data. Is clear to all of you? Okay, so this role hierarchy, suppose my model is private, I do not want the role hierarchy, based sharing. The model should be a private always. It should be private to the manager also. Some, some confidential information. I do not want to share based on hierarchy. Even the manager also should not see it. It should be a strictly private. We have a model called private, but my requirement is that should be very strictly private. That should not be shared based on hierarchy also. That is my requirement. Okay. In that case, we cannot break that hierarchy level access for this standard object. It means what? Suppose my opportunity is in private. Okay. Account is in private, and the marketing manager can able to see all the records account owned by sales manager. That we cannot break it. But what I'm where we can break it, we can break for the custom object. Suppose the training object is in private, that needs to be strictly private. So then hierarchy based access I can break it, but we cannot break for which object? Standard object. Any standard object you go, we cannot break that row level hierarchy, but we can disable that role based hierarchy for custom objects. Okay, so what I can do now, I go to the sharing setting. We'll follow this sharing settings. So what is the last column here? Yeah, so it's enabled by default, right? It's enabled. Edit. So it's in edit. I cannot disable for standard objects, but still I can disable for my custom object. Okay, so it's recalculated. Got me? Because there are a lot of records, maybe it applies, it takes some time to recalculate. So now it's I didn't refresh it. If I refresh it, then the records that has been shared based on role hierarchy will be go off now, will be move away, right? The 7 has gone. Okay, David. So David cannot see, who is David? Yeah, Kiran data. That's it. So we are able to disable role-based hierarchy only for a custom object. See, this role-based hierarchy can be sharing settings, edit the OWD, and okay, the column name is it's clear to all of you. You got clarity on OWD, profile, OWD sharing rules, manual sharing. There are 4 topics we discussed, right? Even including permission set, profile, permission set, OWD, sharing rule, manual sharing, role-based sharing. Your role-based sharing, OWD, sharing rules on record level access. And your profile controls, object level, field level. Okay, so profile is a base. Will follow this? Right, and team-based sharing. There is one more sharing. Lot of sharing topics you need to remember. But if you recall in the, with a proper hierarchy, it's a required access level. You need to follow in every organization. It's not like this combination is a regular access level, right? Because once you restrict it, we need to give grant back the access to user. That's all. That's what we handled in our sharing rule, manual sharing. And manual sharing also one of the topic, right? We covered manually shared one individual record, automatically sharing rule, manually sharing, manual sharing. Okay, and role based also like a automated sharing only, right? And it is not necessary uh, your organization hierarchy is equal to your role based hierarchy, role hierarchy. This is not your organization hierarchy. What is organization hierarchy? In organization, I may have VP, marketing manager. Got me? So that hierarchy, this is not the place to set that hierarchy. This is a place to set record level access. Suppose the executive, a Praveen is executive, would like to modify some record of Kiran record. Kiran is okay, an absence of Kiran or some requirement, some urgent requirement. The Kiran would like to modify, Praveen would like to modify, say David record. Then what we can do? Just change the role of executive to VP of Kiran. Just change the role of Praveen from executive to VP. So automatically Praveen will able to get access of all the below records, subordinate records. It doesn't mean Praveen become VP of the organization. Okay. So VP is the role hierarchy is not your organization hierarchy. It's is to give the record level access. That's it. So whenever you need to give more access to other group of users above him, just change the role of the particular user to the role above the above role. That's it. Clear all of you? Okay. Why you go for team-based sharing? Okay, I can cover five more minutes concept. Then we can take a break. Fine, right? Team-based sharing. I have scenarios where my account is in private model. What is account object? What is the purpose? Customer details, right? So every organization you take, I have different types of customers. Finance related customers, a technology related customer, okay, and a telecommunication related customers. So I have some team of I have some team who is deal with I have some team here. Okay, David is playing a role of finance manager. So this role is not your role based hierarchy, just a designation within your organization. Okay, and Praveen always deals with account related things, and he deals with all the business related things. So these are the designation they are playing. Okay, so he is the one deals with the finance related things with the customer, any invoice processing, any payment, everything. Okay, and any account related thing he is dealing with. A level below manager. It's not hierarchy, it's a designation I'm talking about. General name for the responsibilities carried by the team members. Okay, some general name. Kiran is taking care of business activities. So my account is in private model. I have a record called okay. I have some record, some customer record. Some company, some customer I have. So as per the model says, no user can see records owned by others. So this record owner is basically say Ranjith. Ranjith is the owner. So owner of the record is Ranjith, and the account is in private model. Whether David and Praveen Kiran can able to see that record? No, right? But all these three people are going to work for this organization, this company customer, and playing a different role. So what I can do, I can manually share it. I can manually share this record to all of them. Okay. But manually when you share this, you will lose the track to whom you have shared. To whom you have shared, you have to go on the expand list, you have to see it. And whenever any new person need access, again I have to go with manually sharing it. So what I'm going to do, we are going to share the record based on team. Okay, team based sharing we are going to do. Okay, for that, first step, enable account team option. We have to enable that option first. So which object we are talking about? Account. So as administrator, okay. So before that, let's make the account as a private. Let's make the account as private. Private. Okay. So now my assumption is account is in private model. So we are going to enable the account team feature. Okay. So it's under customize account account setting. Okay, it's not account setting, account team, I guess. Yeah, is go to account team, enable account team, customize, enable, enable this, save. Okay, enable this, adding into all the layout in my organization, save. It's saved to all the layout. So when I say layout, it means what? It is part of the layout. You'll get one related list. You'll get one related list in the layout called accounting. That's what we added now. Once enable, we added it. It has two options: add default team. Okay, so I can add the users here. I like to share with David with read write access. I can share a parent account and a child record also. Which child record I can share? Opportunity belong to the account, case belong to the account. Okay, and what role? The role is optional, but you can go with the role. That's it. Okay, so from here I can share to anyone, read only, read write. Let it be private or else read only. Different access I can give. Save it. So what happens now? It's something like a manual sharing only, but I'm able to manage all those users to whom I have shared the record in the same record itself. As a team, I shared. Okay, so I can come to know, yes, virtual corporation, these are the people are working on that customer. So these are the users working for this virtual corporation customer. The David is an account manager, he is a channel manager. Okay, so anytime I would like to remove the access, I come here and delete it. That's it. So this feature is called a team-based sharing. So team-based sharing is only available for account opportunity case. No other object is applicable. Okay, this just to cover the real-time scenario. How the group of users, okay, how you can share the records to the group of users who is working for particular customer. I need not go with the manual sharing. I can share the records to the better way by using a feature called a team-based sharing. So I can track to whom I have shared. Anytime I can edit and modify the access in the same record itself. So I can manage it properly because the record says whom I have shared the record. Right? Business wise, these are the users working for this customer. So anytime I can add some more user, I can delete. Got me? So this manual share, sorry, account team sharing is available for only for team based sharing. Opportunity and case. People could do this. It's already given in the document, much more detail also. Fine. Let's go for a short break. Online people will connect in another 10 minutes.